Hey guys, and welcome. This is episode number 6 of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Oakland Athletics. I'm recording a bunch of episodes in a row because I'm going to be out of town for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to record a bunch of episodes in a row so that I can get them uploaded. So if you have any suggestions for me, probably won't be able to do anything with them, but still would love to hear your thoughts on kind of where we are and what we're doing. And so far, so good here in 2033. It is time for the draft, and we are 39 and 21 and in first place in the American League West. We are 6 games clear of the Angels and Mariners, 9 games up on the Rangers, and 10 clear of the Astros. You can see, again, our pitching staff has continued to be really, really solid for us. Offensively, Eddie Lujan got hurt, but he was really good for the first 2 months. We get him back right after the 4th of July, so we'll get him back probably around the All-Star break. So we'll just sort of make do. Joe Curry, however, has more than filled in admirably at third base. You can see he's already got 20 home runs on the season. Let's take a look at the team stats all together before we go to the draft. So let's look offensively first. You can see Jorge Vega having a really nice first full season for us. 417 on base percentage, 961 slugging, 153 OPS plus. He's walked 31 times, only struck out 29. He's been perfect at the top of the order. This is a deal I am very happy that we made. We had to give up some talent to get it, but in the end, it's a deal I'm happy with. Phil Galladay's kind of coming along pretty nicely in Milwaukee. He's hitting really well for them this year, but Vega made more sense in our lineup. Joe Curry, I mentioned 20 home runs already, 40 runs knocked in, 964 OPS, slugging 640 almost. How's he doing defensively? He had to slide over to third base. He's playing above average, so I'm content there. Chris Russell, Power's down a bit this year, but still slugging close to 500, putting up a 350 on base percentage. So he's still on average for about a 3 WAR season. Manny Araujo has some empty batting average here. He's hitting 305, but he's only putting up a 713 OPS. Playing really good defense though. Sergio Rodriguez stepped in after Lujan went on the DL and is mashing 11 home runs in 107 at-bats, so I'll take it. Ruben Mendoza, our 22-year-old, the first baseman we got in the offseason to replace Van Luke. Having a nice first season. 314, 356, 498, 854 OPS, and he's only 22. Jose Pacheco was one of our prospect outfielders, playing mostly backup, all 3 outfield positions, but he's doing okay. Andy Chilton's struggling a bit. That's been a little disappointing. His days may be numbered. I was hoping he would hit a little bit better in a starting role, but he's taken a significant step back from last season. Mario Guevara is not playing much, but he's still crushing lefties. Alex De Hoyo has really probably been the biggest disappointment this season. Last year he put up almost 800 OPS, 280, 335, 455. The power, he's on pace for 5 home runs versus 11 last year. His doubles are about on pace, but lost about 40 points off of his batting average. So bit of a disappointment there. And then Ciapara, his bat has all but vanished this season for some reason. On pace he's got a 560 OPS right now, and he's still fielding okay. He's still really good, actually, which is why he is still a positive WAR player, even though he's only got a 560 OPS. Pitching, our top 2, Zabel and Andrade, continue to lead the way for us, but Josh Wilcher finally seems to have broken out. First 2 seasons for us, he was not bad. But so far this year, 8-2 with a 2.59 ERA. 1.2 WARs. FIP's a little high, so I don't think he's pitching quite that well, but opponents are only hitting 192 off of him. Chris Osorio, 16 saves already, 1.4 ERA. He's been outstanding. Mike Springer's been pretty good for ERA of 4. He's 4-4, but more than a strikeout an inning. G is doing really well in a setup role. Really, the only pitcher who I would say is struggling this year is Robbie Womack, out of that 5 spot in the rotation. We picked him up in the offseason in the deal for Lujan and Blanche and Valdez over to Baltimore. How are they doing? Blanche is only hitting. Blanche is really tumbled. He's only hitting 264 with no power. Valdez is doing pretty well, but Blanche is having a difficult time. Did he get hurt, or is he just not playing? He's just not playing. Huh. I'm not going to complain. A drink. So, yeah. So we are 39-21. Financially, we're in okay shape. Still a little bit of money to play with. I don't necessarily think we're going to do a ton with it, but we may be looking at a 5th starter, or if Ciapara just continues to be a black hole, maybe a shortstop. But the Hoyos and Chilton are on borrowed time at this point with Allen and Becerra, number 3 and number 9 prospects in baseball, basically ready to go. Yeah, I mean, they're basically ready to go. I could call them up at any time now, so we might give them until the end of June, or maybe not even the end of June. We might give them another week and a half to see if they can get out of this. If not, they could go down, and Allen and Becerra could come up and be my center, my left and center, or my center and right fielders here going forward. So, anything else we want to look at? Not really. I think we're pretty well set. So let's go to the draft. We are picking 27th. They have us taking a really bad shortstop. It's not a good draft, guys, at all. This is who they think we're going to take at 27. It's not a good draft at all. So I'm not expecting anything of real significance. There were a couple of decent pitchers, but none of them are going to fall to me at 27. So let's see what we get. Yeah, a bunch of relievers and some starters that are below average. Sucks. These guys are all just not good. Got for batters. Is there anything left? Nope. That's terrible, guys. Terrible. It looks like this guy, Rob Bortone, is the best option. He can hit and he can pitch. So I think we draft him, make him a second baseman. Rob Bortone. Be our number 1 pick, and we're going to make him a second baseman right off the bat. So we'll draft him. Wants under slot, which is good, so it saves us a bit of money. Power bats. Hey, Riensma. Got some power. Good gap, good power, good eye. Say likes him a little bit more. I could go for him. This guy, he's got that profile I like, even though his contact is a little low. He's got the high gap, high power, good batting eye, which I like. CJ Davis. Possible sign. Let's go back to pictures. This is just terrible. To the point where I don't even really want to pick. Andy Wellington. He's got 2 decent pitches. 2 below. Yeah, I guess. Sure, Andy Wellington. 2 decent pitches, 2 bad pitches, and then his other ratings were meh. Jake Flowers. He's not a starter. Let's go back here. Yeah, that's basically yuck. Guess we can draft this TJ Nielsen and make him a hitter. He's got some power. All right, I think that's gonna do it. This draft is just terrible, and I don't feel like spending a ton of time on it. Because at this point, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna draft anybody who's going to kind of make or break it for us. Let's negotiate. We got to remember to Bortone a. Tone and Nielsen both need to change. They both need to have their positions changed. What are we going to move Nielsen to? I'll make him a third baseman. And or Bortone again. He doesn't have great range, but he's got a good arm. He's actually going to be a third baseman. The other guy is second baseman. So I'll make Nielsen a second baseman, Bortone a third baseman. So I think that's it for this segment. I'm going to skip ahead to international signing. Like I said, I'm going to give the Hoyos and Chilton another week and a half to try to snap out of it. If not, Allen and Becerra could be up and with the big club. So when we come back, it'll be international free agent signing, and we'll see where we stand. So hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. It is the trade deadline, and quite a bit has happened since we were here last. I actually have gone about 2 weeks between recording halves of this episode. So the first half of this episode I recorded about 2 weeks ago. And I think that was the first year player draft. I've been on the road for the last couple of weeks, so I haven't really had much time to record, but a little bit of time to play. So I was able to play up until the trade deadline. And here we are. So you can see we are 71-40. It's been a very, very good year for us thus far. Only 15-13 in July, but 3 really good months prior to that. What do we want to start with? Let's start with the moves that we made, I guess, because I think we made, again, it's been a while. I think we've made 2. Let's go back to June, because that's when the trade deadline was. So the first deal we made was June 12th, which was after the trade deadline. Yeah. All right, so let's do it this way. What am I doing? I am looking for... Let's do it. Oh, man, I am off. All right. Let's do it like this. Where is the trade log? What's wrong with me? Can't I find it? Ugh, there it is. All right. So we made a deal right here. Not right there. I'm having a really difficult start to this episode here, guys. 6-12. Right here. There we go. We sent Alex de Hoyos, who had taken a pretty substantial step back. You can see only 234, 3 home runs, 26 RBIs this season. We traded him to Washington, where he's actually done pretty well in a couple of 1.5, 2-star pitchers. And in exchange, we pick up Ty Simmons, who is a power-hitting corner outfielder. starting in Double A for us. You can see he's already hit 15 home runs in 43 games, so he's been a nice addition. He's a little bit old. I don't know why it says he's in rookie ball. He shouldn't be in rookie ball. He should be in Double A ball. And Emmanuel Alvarez, who is a power hitting first baseman, and he's doing really well for us as well. Drink some tea, and like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I've recorded, so I apologize if this is a little disjointed right off the bat. But so that was the first deal we made. We traded De Hoyos a position of depth and strength for some minor league depth, or not depth, but minor league talent that could potentially help us, including a 20-year-old who's in Double A already. And then the other deal we made was the biggie. As we were approaching the trade deadline, we made a deal with the Minnesota Twins, and we sent Andy Chilton, Robbie Womack, Kevin Bound, and Zach Hinkle to Minnesota for Sean Hall and Jerry Valderrama. So Chilton, I was good, but we replaced him with somebody from the minor leagues, and we'll show you him in a second. So I was willing to move on from Chilton. We had to move Womack in order to get them to include Valderrama, and you'll see why I wanted him in a second. But Womack we picked up in the offseason, and he was not very good, 7-6, 5.82 as our number 5. And then again, a couple of minor league just depth pieces. So first we pick up Valderrama, who's a 23-year-old who has just elite level power, 3.5 stars, very, very good in the outfield. Currently in AAA, he'll stay there for the rest of the season. He's doing okay so far. Power's not there, but he'll be fine. And Sean Hall. Sean Hall was sort of the big pickup in this to really improve our rotation. 27 years old, 7-6 with a 4.16 ERA. He hasn't pitched great for us in 2 starts, but he's a power arm, 96 to 98, 3 great pitches, good movement. His control's just okay, but I led the American League in strikeouts last year with 250, so he moves into our rotation. Our rotation now, you can see, is just outstanding. Zabel, Andrade, Wilcher, Hall, and Springer. So while we're here, let's actually take a look at our pitching stats. So Peyton Zabel, I mean, what else can you say? 15-3 with a 2.29 ERA at the trade deadline. 5.0 WAR on the nose. He's been outstanding, as has Andrade, 10-5, as has Wilcher, 12-4. Springer's only 8-6, but his ERA's at 4, and as your number 4 starter, you'll take it. Christopher Osorio has given up 5 runs in 48 innings. I mean, my pitching staff has just been ridiculous this year. Dempsey and G as my bullpen guys are great. Even Danny Carcamo, look at that. 0.33 ERA. He's given up 1 run in 27 2/3 innings. He's got an ERA plus of only 1,450 on the season. So my pitching staff has just been outstanding. Is there anybody who isn't pitching well? Not particularly. And then when we look at our lineup, we were able to move Chilton. We were comfortable trading Chilton because we had Omar Becerra ready to come up. He had developed nicely during the season. He's down in AAA at 291, 925 OPS. I started 11 games for us, and he's 17 for 38 in the big leagues with 3 home runs already. So we stuck him in right field. He's not as good an outfielder as Chilton, but the bat more than makes up for it. So if we look at our batter WAR, Joe Curry. Oh, that's another thing, I guess. It's been a while, but Eddie Lujan was out for a long time this year. He had a concussion, and it just kept pushing him back. But he was on pace for over 40 home runs when he got hurt. So he's slipped back in, and we have him Curry, Mendoza, Guevara are all sort of, and Sergio Rodriguez are all sort of rotating positions in the lineup. But you can see Curry, 35 home runs. I mean, I'm glad we went with him this season. We traded for him from Atlanta last year. It's on pace for 51 home runs on the year, 5.8 WAR. So he's been really, really good. Jorge Vega, we picked him up last year. During the regular season, And he's been outstanding as well this year, an improvement across the board and everything over last year. He's been great as our leadoff hitter. Ruben Mendoza, we picked him up in the offseason. 22-year-old rookie first base, and have never played higher than Double-A, and he's putting up a 922 OPS, so he's been great. Manny Araujo actually has, a lot of it's through his fielding. He's generating a ton of WAR through his defense, but offensively he's doing just fine. It's a little below average, but Chris Russell was hurt for a portion of the season, but his average is down from last year. But he's bouncing back a little bit, so I think he'll be okay. We talked about Eddie Lujan. We talked about Becerra. Rodriguez came in when Lujan went down and played quite well, actually. The average was as high as 300 for a while. He slipped out as of late, but still generating some power off the bench for us. We called up our top prospect, Josh Allen, and he's starting to come around here a little bit. We look at his splits. 240 in April and May, and then 260 in June and July. So he's starting to come around a little bit. 14 doubles isn't bad. Playing pretty good defense. And then we kind of got everybody else. Siapara is kind of bringing up the rear. The hitting is not there, and he's still fielding really well. So we can deal with his bat in the lineup if he's going to field as well as he is. We're 71 and 40. What can we do to improve this team? Shortstop, maybe. Shortstop, and you can always say you can pick up another arm, but do we really need another arm? Shortstops on the trade block that are any good? No. Bichette, but I don't think he can field anymore. Yeah, he's not even really hitting. What about pitchers? Can always have more pitching. I'd like to have Daniel Espino. I'd like to have him. He's 32 years old now. He's up to 2,400 strikeouts. His first season with Milwaukee's actually been pretty good. What would it take to get Espino? They want just make it work. Andrade, Holler, Wilcher. Okay, nobody I'm willing to give up 1-for-1. So what if we do something Valderrama and move the needle at all? How about that? Our scout hates that, so. It's our first round pick last year. Whoa. I think it's safe to say we can call him up. Look at that craziness. Let's put him. He's 20. Put him in A-ball. Speaking of that, let's look at Matlock, because he's the one who had the ridiculous numbers. He's adapting to single A-ball. He's doing okay. He'll spend the rest of the season in high A. He'll be in double A next year, but that's fine. Can we I don't know that we can make this work. I'd be willing to give up those two guys. Both good prospect, but yeah, okay. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, and that's fine. So let's look at... The other thing I like to look at is upcoming free agents, because you can sometimes find a bargain in there. Jake Alba. 98 to 100. Sure. What? Okay. Alright, so we might not be able to make a move here at the deadline, and I'd be okay with that. We made our big deal already when we picked up Hall, so I'm okay there. Let's see. Kato Mori, no. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot here right now. So, let's look at financially. Where do we stand? We don't have any money to spend. We don't have any money for extensions. Salaries. Yeah, our payroll jumps next year, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, as good of a year as Zabel is having and as good as he's been for us in his 2 years, him opting out wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Save us $30 million. But we are kind of in go for it mode here. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we picked up Hall. It's going to cost us a lot of money going forward, but if we win it all, it doesn't matter because then we move on to another team. So, I'm going to call it there. Going to be a relatively short episode as I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things here. I am going to record another episode right after this, play up through the end of the regular season. We'll go over the team stats. And oh, that's one thing I wanted to show you. We have a new home run king. Show you that and then we'll move on. Cody Bellinger up to 768 career home runs. Barry Bonds is second at 762. Bonds Gleyber Torres up to 751 this season. He's starting to slip a little bit as well, as he's 36. He may not get to that 7. I don't know, he might. I don't know if he's going to hit another 10 home runs this year, but he's at 751. Matt Olson's at 746. He's still mashing away at 39 and 81 power. So we have 800 home runs on the horizon for Mr. Bellinger. He's 32 away. I mean, look at this. Look at his ratings at age 38. It's just ridiculous. He's been hurt a lot this year, so his average is only 226. But, yeah, I mean, new all-time home run king. He's up to 27 hits, or 2,700 hits, I should say. Somebody else that has had a really solid career, Mookie Betts. And where's Mookie on this list? Right here. 518 home runs and 3,113 hits. So it'd be really interesting to see who he goes into the Hall of Fame with. He's played the most games with the Red Sox, most WAR with the Sox. I don't know. I mean, I think he ends up a Red Sox, but he's played for a bunch of different teams. He's finishing up this season with the Dodgers. So, all right. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and sim ahead to the end of the regular season. So the beginning of the next episode will be the end of the regular season. We'll recap what happened, and then we'll jump into the postseason. So, as always, leave a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and until I talk to you guys again, which will be here in just a minute, everybody take care. Bye-bye.